Welcome you all to the second class of this nuclear physics. Now, in this class, we have to study Gamo's theory of alpha decay. In the last class, we arrived at the disintegration energy of a natural radioactive element lies between 4 mega electron volt to 9 mega electron volts. That means when alpha decay process takes place, at that time the total energy released lies between 4 mega electron volt to 9 mega electron volt for all radioactive element. Now, today we have to study Gamo's theory of alpha decay. So they will ask this as a 5-mark question. Then what is this Gamo's theory of alpha decay? So when alpha particle is inside the nucleus, assume that this is the radioactive element. So alpha particle is formed when 2 protons and 2 neutrons combine together inside the nucleus. At that time alpha particle is formed. So 2 protons and 2 neutrons. Assume that this is an alpha particle. Now alpha particle is inside the nucleus. It is acted upon by the force of attraction. What we know somewhere in nuclear physics, the nuclear forces. Always it is an attractive force, not the repulsive force. That means there is a force of attraction between the constituent particles and the alpha particle when alpha particle is inside the nucleus. So if an alpha particle comes outside the nucleus, so this has got positively charged nucleus, that means alpha particle, and this is now converted into daughter element or residual element. It has also got positively charged nucleus, the 2 positively charged nucleus. Then according to Coulomb's, it is a force of repulsion. Remember that when alpha particle is inside the nucleus, always there is a force of attraction. When it comes just outside, there is a force of, when alpha particle is inside the nucleus, there is a force of attraction. When it just comes out, there is a force of repulsion. Now, how this potential energy of this alpha particle varies. So assume that this is initially the parent nucleus. Now this is y-axis and this is x-axis. So let it is the distance, potential energy is taken along y-axis. When alpha particle is just at the center of this nucleus, you know that there is a force of attraction. Means there is a negative potential. When alpha particles just comes out at the boundary, like your Rn is the radius of the nucleus. Then at this point, force of repulsion starts. It has positive potential. When alpha particle is inside the nucleus, it is negative potential. When it just crosses the boundary, it has got positive potential. That means to one side, when it is inside, it is a negative potential. So this potential goes on changing. At the boundary, it's the maximum potential. And when this alpha particle moves at a large distance, charges moves at large distance, so potential goes on decreasing. So the potential energy becomes zero at large distance. This is the point where the potential is maximum. Potential energy is maximum. Then, according to electrostatics, you know that the potential energy, maximum potential energy is given by 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1 Q2 upon R square. Sorry, Q1 Q2 upon R it is potential. R square becomes force. Q1 is the charge on the daughter nucleus. So Q2 is the charge on alpha particle. Then, if you consider for an example of 88 Rn 222. Now, before that, what is epsilon naught? That epsilon naught, you know that it is the permittivity of a free space. So value of epsilon naught is 8.854 into 10 raised to minus 12. That we have studied in electrostatics. If you consider the radioactive element 88 Rn 222, then I can write this equation as your Vm maximum potential is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught the Q1 is charged on one nucleus, it is Z minus 2 into E, it is the daughter nucleus, and charge on this alpha particle is 2E, that divided by your Rn. All this is your Vm is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into Z minus 2E square into Z minus 2, that divided by Rn can be written as R0 a raised to 1 by 3. So nuclear size was given by Rn is equal to R0 a raised to 1 by 3. Here R0 is a constant. So this R0 is equal to 1.2 into 10 raised to minus 15 meter it is. Then if you substitute in that equation for 88 Rn 222, your maximum potential energy is 9 into 10 raised to 9. Means if you substitute this epsilon naught is 8.854 into 10 raised to minus 9 and calculate 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, you're going to get it as 9 into 10 raised to 9. Then into 2, charge is 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 19 whole square. Z is 88 minus 2. That divided by your R0 is 1.2 into 10 raised to minus 15 into A is 222. 1 by 3. If you simplify this, your potential energy becomes 34 mega electron volt. The potential energy during this alpha decay is 34 mega electron volts. But if you calculate the disintegration energy of this element, it is 5 mega electron volts. So according to classical mechanics, for an alpha particle to come out from the nucleus, the minimum energy required is 34 mega electron volts. But earlier we said that all radioactive elements having disintegration energy between 4 mega electron volts to 9 mega electron volts. So if an alpha particle has got less than this energy, according to classical mechanics, alpha particle cannot come out from the nucleus. Means alpha decay is not at all possible. But according to quantum mechanics, this alpha particle can come out through or penetrate through a potential barrier. You know what is that potential barrier? You know that if it is a one-dimensional potential box, which I have studied in the last semester, particle in one-dimensional potential bulb. So particle moves forth and back. There is a probability of that particle coming out from the potential barrier. So this problem is similar to that one. So now classical mechanics fails to explain how alpha particles comes out from the nucleus. So according to quantum mechanics, the problem of this alpha emission is possible only when penetration through the potential barrier. Now, according to quantum mechanics, the particle is treated as a wave. In the last semester we have studied that according to this quantum mechanics, particle is treated as a wave, obeying which equation? Schrodinger's equation. That means particle obeys the equation. What is that equation? Schrodinger's equation. Delta square psi upon delta x square plus 2m e minus v psi upon h cross square. This is 0. That means particle now, that means alpha particle is treated as a wave. It obeys this delta square psi upon delta x square 2m e minus v psi upon h cross square. Then there is, if you solve this Schrodinger's equation at different positions, you know that at different positions this v varies, x also varies. As x varies, v varies. And solving these all Schrodinger's equation with appropriate boundary conditions, that gives when the alpha particle was inside the nucleus, it has got finite probability of coming out from the nucleus. So that gives, what gives? If you solve the Schrodinger's equation at different positions, taking different potentials, different positions, v goes on varying. Then those equations gives the definite probability of alpha particle when it was initially inside the nucleus to come out from the nucleus. Then different scientists, first one is Gamow, and later on independently Gurney and Condon have applied the wave mechanical theory to this alpha emission, or how the alpha particle comes out from the nucleus. They have explained on the basis of wave mechanical theory. Initially at one place Gamow was tried independently to other scientists, Gurney and Condon. Next we should know how this Gamow, Gurney, Condon have explained the quantum mechanical theory or wave mechanical theory to this alpha emission. We can picture the escape of this alpha particle from the nucleus as they leak through the tunnels in the potential barrier. Therefore, this phenomena is known as quantum mechanical tunneling effect. The basic notations of this quantum theory is, so alpha particle exists within the nucleus as an entity. Then second one is alpha particle moves with a constant velocity and moves forth and back. So during each collision, there is a probability that alpha particle may escape through this tunnel. So consider and only one alpha particle is present inside the nucleus. It is moving along the diameter of this nucleus. Then continuously it collides with the wall of this container, moves back and forth. If v is the velocity of the alpha particle, then collision frequency mu is given by v upon 2 Rn. So what is this Rn? Rn is the radius of this nucleus. And here v is 2 into 10 raised to 7 meter per second, and your Rn is 10 raised to minus 14 meter. Then if you substitute this collision frequency, nu is equal to v2 into 10 raised to 7 divided by 2 into 10 raised to minus 14, 2 to cancels, nu is equal to 10 raised to 21 per second. That means collision frequency of this alpha particle on the wall of this barrier potential is 10 raised to 21 per second. In other words, the alpha particle moves forth and back and hits the wall of this container 10 raised to 21 times per second. In 1 second it hits 10 raised to 21 times, but yet it takes an average of 10 raised to 10 years to come out from the nucleus. It hits 10 raised to 21 times in 1 second, but it takes the time to come out or to escape from the nucleus. The average time is 10 is to 10 years. Then if P is the probability of transmission of this alpha particle, then lambda is the decay constant, then this nu lambda is equal to nu into P. So call this equation as 1 and this equation as 2. This lambda is decay constant per unit time, where we have heard in the radioactivity. So decay constant is given by this lambda is equal to, you know, that 0.693 divided by T. What is this T? T is the half-life of this radioactive element. That means if lambda varies, T varies, P is the probability of transmission of this alpha particle during each collision, then this quantum mechanical tunneling effect gives the expression for decay constant as this is log of lambda to the base 10 is equal to log of V upon 2 Rn to the base 10 plus 1.29 into Z1 raised to half into Rn raised to half minus 1.72 Z1 e raised to minus half. This is an expression given by this quantum mechanical tunneling effect. You know that if lambda varies, its half-life varies. You know, we have studied somewhere half-life and average life of this radioactive element. You know, this decay constant, in other words, half-life of this radioactive element strongly varies with the energy of the alpha particle. That energy is measured in mega electron volt. Here Z1 is equal to Z minus 2 atomic number of this daughter nucleus, and the fastest decay constant is for thorium TH 232. Its half-life is 1.3 into 10 raised to 10 seconds. And slowest decay constant is polonium 84212. Its half-life is 3 into 10 raised to 7 per second. So fastest decay is along in a radioactive element is thorium, and slowest decay is polonium. Then its energy, that means disintegration energy of this is 4.05 mega electron volt, and this one is 8.95 mega electron volts. They have calculated using this formula this disintegration energy 4.05 mega electron volts, and this polonium with 8.95 mega electron volts. Then for other elements, so the energy lies between this and this, which holds good for 4 mega electron volts to 9 mega electron volts.